I'm actually one of the co-founders of both Reyna Silver and Reyna Gold. I'm originally from Mexico. I'm a mining entrepreneur. And really the philosophy behind both Reyna Silver and Reyna Gold is the same. We're taking a very unique district scale approach. You know, both companies share a common technical advisor who's Peter McGaw and Doug Kerwin. Peter McGaw, for those of you who don't know him, is a co-founder of MAG Silver and one of the most successful silver exploration geologists in the last 20 years. And Doug Kerwin, he is the former VP of exploration of Ivanhoe and was an integral part of the Oyu Tolgoi discovery. So I'll share a little bit with you about how we came up with Reyna Gold. Reyna Gold, basically what we've done is, over the last few years as a private company, we put together 4 large district scale projects in Mexico. Each of them is 10 to, I think the biggest one we have is 40,000 hectares. So these are big projects in Sonora and Chihuahua. And about 4 or 5 years ago, I was talking to Peter McGaw, and he was explaining to me that, you know, Mexico, even though we share a border with the US, if you look at Arizona and Nevada, right below you have Sonora, Chihuahua, the geology is the same. However, the level of discoveries in the US is just dramatically higher. The reason for that is Mexico didn't open to mining until the mid-90s. And then once Mexico did open to mining, there was a flood of Canadian companies. I see a lot of you who are sort of similar vintage as me or a little bit older, so you might remember that first wave of Canadian explorers who really, you know, the thought at the time in Bay Street was, look, if the big Mexican mining companies haven't found anything, you know, there's probably nothing else to be found. And then boom, you know, the Guerrero Gold Belt, major discoveries, millions of ounces. But then, you know, we had REYGs, and we've had sort of 20 years of not too much money for exploration. So what we did is we took 4 district scale projects. We're taking a district scale exploration approach. Typically in Mexico, what you have is, you know, people get very tempted because once you fire a couple 100,000 ounces, there's a big temptation to put them into production right away. Rather than, you know, explore for the way that you do it here in Canada, where, you know, you go to the Golden Triangle, and because in the Golden Triangle you couldn't put 200,000 ounces into production, that gives you the motivation for finding 2 million ounces, and then on the path to looking for 2 million, you might come across 10 million. I'll tell a little bit about our capital structure because, you know, as of today, we're a very new company. We only went public a couple of months ago, and unfortunately, you know, we've cut these bad markets. But fortunately for those of you who are listening to this for the first time, we're basically half the price of our IPO. We have 9 million Canadian in cash. We own 100% of our properties. And our market cap is about 13 million. So, you know, we're trading very close to cash with 4 exceptional projects with, you know, an incredible institutional shareholder list. So, you know, if you are interested in the company, obviously look at the technical part, but also look at the valuation because it really is a wonderful entry point. I spoke about our advisors, so one of our directors is sitting here in the front, Cacho Molina, who, if anybody has any technical questions, he's a PhD in geology and a wonderful person and geologist. So if anybody wants to talk to him at the end of the presentation, please do so. I'll tell you about the project we're actively exploring right now. The name of the project is La Gloria. It's in the Sonora Mega Shear. We're in close proximity to the biggest gold mine in Mexico, owned by Peñoles. It's about 60 kilometers south of us. And we're right next to a former producer from Alamos Gold called El Chanate that produced about 1 million ounces. What we've done here is, and I'd like to show you the point at the scale. If you look at the ruler at the bottom, that's 5 kilometers. So we really have 26,000 hectares and 35 kilometers of faults. While we were a private company, what we did was, there was a core area called the main pit, which had about 250 drill holes, but very shallow but for very good grades. And what we've done is, as a private company, we did trenching and samples covering the entire property. And what we did is we found multiple mineralized zones throughout the property. We had, through trenching and samples, we had as high as 93 grams per ton gold in a new area called Pique Viejo. And we just released the first 1,000 meters of a total of 10,000 meters we're going to do this year. We had very good grades. Again, all of the drilling we did was focused on new discoveries. One of the strategies that we're following is once we find a mineralized zone, rather than honing into that zone to try to come up with a few 100,000 ounces, we really want to know, over the whole property, how big can this get? Is this truly a district scale project? Just to give you some context, I was fortunate enough to be a founding director of a company called Prime Mining. I don't know if any of you follow that company. We started with a market cap of 15 million, raised 5 million in 2019, and 3 years later, it's a $500 million company. On a similar concept, they had a maybe 600,000 ounce resource, but really when we took over that company, and I was just an independent director, so I'm not taking credit for the success of that company. But when we took that property, there was really didn't know what we were dealing with, and really through a similar method, just trenching and sampling, finding extensions, looking at how big the property could get. It's attracted the attention from the market. As I mentioned, it's now close to $500 million market cap company in just 3 years, with not a huge amount of drilling, but just to tell you a little bit, and we're not too far from them. They're in the next state over in Sinaloa. So we did our first drill campaign. We've drilled about 1,000 meters. We had very good results, consistent with the grades that you see in a district like La Gloria. The catalyst for the company is we have 1,000 meters done. We're doing 9,000 meters more, and by the time we finish that, we're still going to have approximately 5 million Canadian in the bank. So this is really early days. We're going to have constant news flow. And again, if you buy the stock today, you're basically almost like getting into a founder's round. So, that's all the time that I have. If anybody else would like to ask more questions, especially on the technical side, happy to have a chat with you after the presentation. And again, thank you very much for taking the time.